The containment breach sirens of Station Meridian screamed into life at exactly 0200 hours, shattering what passed for nighttime in the perpetual artificial cycle of deep space. Dr. Maya Chen didn't even flinch from her position at the corner table of the observation deck cantina, methodically working through her third cup of recycled coffee and a plate of protein synthesis that barely qualified as food. Around her, the diverse collection of galactic citizens erupted into panic. A Threxian family with their distinctive crystallized exoskeletons scrambled toward emergency exits, their translator devices overwhelming each other in a cacophony of warnings. Three Valerian traders, their tentacles flailing in synchronized distress patterns, knocked over chairs in their haste to reach safety. The station AI cycled through its emergency broadcast in 42 different languages and frequency ranges. Critical biological hazard detected. All personnel evacuate to designated containment zones. This is an active emergency. Is this your doing? Maya asked the holographic display hovering above her coffee cup. The interface showed a pulsing double helix wrapped in stardust, the logo for Gene Match, the galaxy's supposedly revolutionary compatibility algorithm that claimed to use DNA-level analysis for perfect romantic matches. Dr. Chen, the app's synthetic voice replied with the kind of forced cheerfulness that made Maya's teeth ache, your match appointment has arrived. There appears to be an unexpected reaction to their presence aboard the station. Maya took another sip of her terrible coffee. Unexpected reaction. That's what you're calling it when half the station evacuates because of my date? She downloaded Gene Match 6 weeks ago during a particularly dark moment when her station-assigned therapy AI suggested she needed to engage with living organisms beyond laboratory specimens. After 10 years on Station Meridian studying xenobiology in isolation, her only meaningful relationship was with the bacterial cultures in her lab. What exactly is a devourer caste? Maya asked. Kelthros of the Corsani Collective is classified as a Category 7 sentient with specialized biointegration capabilities, Gene Match explained. 94.7% compatibility with your unique DNA markers. They consume other species for genetic material, Chixtal interjected. In Great Expansion Wars, one devourer destroyed entire research station. That is culturally biased, Gene Match corrected. The Corsani practice consensual biological integration. Maya didn't move. 10 years ago, fresh from her doctorate, she might have been terrified. But somewhere between watching her research team die in a containment failure and ending up alone on this forgotten station, she'd lost proper threat assessment. The station trembled as something massive docked. What docking port? Maya asked. Biocontainment Bay 12, Gene Match displayed helpfully. Would you like to reschedule? No, Maya said, surprising herself. I'll keep this appointment. As she walked against the tide of fleeing residents, Chixtal called out, if you survive, meal is complimentary. For bravery or madness, I'm not sure which. The Kryn security commander's compound eyes flickered in bewilderment. You're the genetic match? The compatibility candidate? Apparently so. The guards exchanged looks, antennae twitching. Finally, the commander straightened. Your courage transcends your species' survival protocols. You may proceed. It's not courage, Maya replied honestly, just scientific curiosity. The airlock hissed open. Maya had reviewed Corsani physiology, but nothing prepared her for Kelthros in person. He stood over 8 feet tall in constant subtle motion, his obsidian skin marked with bioluminescent veins, pulsing colors between ultraviolet and infrared. His face held sharp angles and liquid silver eyes that reflected her image like living mirrors. Translucent filaments extended from his scalp, tasting the air. His organic armor seemed to grow from his body, with faces embedded in the surface. Genetic patterns from species he'd integrated with. Security forces tensed, weapons charging. Kelthros ignored them, stopping exactly 7 feet from Maya. You are Dr. Maya Chen, he said in perfect Mandarin, switching to flawless English. Last surviving member of research team Omega-7. Author of 36 published papers. Current alcohol consumption, concerning but not critical. Been reading my file? Maya asked. I found your work on cross-species cellular communication insightful. though your conclusion about Varisian neuroplasticity was incorrect. Despite everything, Maya smiled. You've read my Varisian paper. I've absorbed the genetic memory of 4 Varisian scholars. Your hypothesis fails to account for quantum entanglement at the synaptic level. That wasn't proven until last year, Maya countered. His mercury eyes brightened. Precisely. Your methodology was sound. Impressive for a species using unenhanced organic neural tissue. The commander stepped forward. State your purpose, Corsani. I am here for a date, Kale Thras said precisely, with this human, as arranged by gene match. You, genetic predator of the expansion wars, here for recreational social bonding? Yes, I have prepared 17 conversation topics organized by predicted engagement potential. Maya felt herself genuinely smile for the first time in years. I know a place that serves decent synthetic tea. My biology can process most organic and inorganic compounds. Lead the way, Dr. Chen. As they walked away, Maya heard the commander mutter, the human appears to be negotiating with the biosecurity threat. Correction, the lieutenant replied. I believe this is what humans call dating. Maya laughed, rusty and foreign. Cal Thras looked at her with concern, his form rippling. Are you experiencing respiratory distress? Should I initiate emergency oxygenation protocols? No, Maya said, smiling. Just wondering what I've gotten myself into. I often experience similar confusion. Perhaps we can navigate it together. Something in Maya's chest cracked open. For the first time since the accident, she was curious about what happened next. Kixtal's cafe was deserted except for the nervous proprietor reorganizing condiments with 4 hands while the others stress-groomed. When Maya entered with Kale Thras, Kixtal froze. You alive? Can we get 2 of whatever won't trigger an allergic cascade in his biology? The booth adapted as Kale Thras sat, his armor adjusting. Station Meridian accommodates biological diversity with unexpected sophistication for a frontier facility. Built during the first expansion era, Maya explained. Back when the collective invested in frontier research. You sound disillusioned. You sound like you've been studying human emotional expression. I have studied 17 sentient species' emotional patterns. Humans are among the most complex, with 73 distinct facial configurations. That's a very Corsani way of saying, you can't read me. His filaments shifted. You mask emotional content with verbal deflection, a defense mechanism, common after significant trauma. Would you like me to refrain from such observations? Are you always this direct? Would you prefer discussing atmospheric conditions? Maya laughed. No, I prefer the direct approach. You spent 10 years in isolation after a containment failure killed your team. You blame yourself despite investigation findings. You self-medicate with alcohol, but not enough to impair function. You're lonely, but convinced yourself you prefer solitude. He tilted his head. Why would anyone tiptoe around obvious data? Maya stared. She should have been offended. Instead, she felt relief. You've done your homework. Genetic compatibility requires more than DNA alignment. I reviewed everything. Your work, incident reports, even your food synthesizer patterns. You haven't tried a new food in 4 years. Stalking isn't usually good date behavior. On my world, failing to research a potential partner would be profoundly disrespectful. Kixtal arrived with tea for Maya and a shifting multi-state liquid for Kale Thras. Is true you absorbed genetic material from 17 species in one battle? Kale Thras's filaments stiffened. 14 species during the siege of Arcturus Station. It was strategic necessity, conducted according to protocols with conscious donors where possible. Much more reasonable. Only 14. Maya sipped her surprisingly good tea. Most first dates don't discuss genetic integration and biosecurity protocols. What do they involve? Kyle Thras asked genuinely. Where you grew up, what you do for fun, why we're compatible. I was created in Corsani genetic cultivation chambers. My genotype was designed for rapid adaptation, a weapon for conflicts requiring understanding enemy species at the molecular level. For fun, I study extinct genetic sequences. Gene match paired us because we both carry professional trauma and exist in self-imposed isolation. Maya almost choked. When you put it that way, have I violated dating protocols? No, you're just more efficient than I'm used to. The Corsani practice directed evolution. Some are born naturally. Others, like the Devourer caste, are designed through genetic engineering. We were meant to be perfect, adaptable soldiers, programmed with behavioral constraints to ensure loyalty. Programmed? Mental conditioning? His mercury eyes fixed on her intensely. Choice is a luxury rarely afforded to biological weapons, Dr. Chen. The weight in his voice resonated. She thought of her own lack of choices, how her research was weaponized, how she'd been pushed into dangerous experiments until disaster struck. Yeah, she said quietly. I know something about that. Understanding passed between them. So why are you using a dating app? His bioluminescent veins pulsed differently. The wars ended. My purpose ended with them. The collective found my existence politically problematic, a reminder of methods they wished to distance from. They suggested voluntary genetic stasis until my capabilities might be required again. They tried to shelve you. They proposed indefinite suspension. I declined and negotiated my independence. Negotiated? Maya smiled. You blackmailed your way to freedom? I leveraged strategic information, and now I find myself searching. For what? Purpose. Connection. Something beyond my design parameters. Is that not why you're here, so far from Earth? The question hit hard. I'm here because Earth doesn't have use for scientists who let their teams die. You were following standard protocols. The equipment malfunction wasn't your fault. How do you know that? I reviewed all 17 incident reports, including classified ones. You were the least senior researcher. The protocol decisions were made by your supervisor. Something tightened in Maya's throat. Everyone has blood on their hands in science. The Corsani have a saying, in the gene storm, all DNA becomes mixed. You bear responsibility that was never yours to carry. Maya's comm implant buzzed. Chen here. Dr. Chen, came a seven's voice. Unauthorized access attempts to your research files. 7 incursions in 90 minutes. Security level, sophisticated, beyond standard station capabilities. Emergency protocols activated. Lock down everything level 3 and above. She disconnected and looked at Kale Thras. Someone's hacking my research files. His expression darkened. The timing is unlikely coincidental. We need to talk about what's really happening, but not in public. Your quarters, if your AI is the only system you trust. Maya nodded. Whatever was happening, Kale Thras wasn't the threat. He was caught in it, just like her. Her quarters in the old habitat ring had physical books, a salvaged couch, and most notably, an actual transparent viewport showing unfiltered space. You modified your living space, Kale Thras observed, his filaments drawn to the starlight. Needed to see something real. Space isn't sanitized. No, it is beautiful and hostile, like most worthwhile things. Area, Security Protocol Alpha, full scan and isolation. The lighting dimmed. Scan complete. We have privacy, Dr. Chen. Status on those intrusion attempts? A holographic display appeared showing cascading code. 7 sophisticated attacks targeting your classified research on cross-species genetic engineering and experimental longevity treatments. Multiple sources but common encryption signatures. Show me the signatures. Maya's stomach sank. That's Helios Corporation methodology. Kale Thras examined the display. Helios Corporation, largest biotech conglomerate in human space, your former employer. Maya sank onto her couch. They're not just interested in my research, they're interested in you. Explain. Your genetic profile, your ability to integrate with other species. That's exactly what Helios has been trying to engineer for decades. Gene match. Who owns the algorithm? A consortium including several biotech corporations, Helios among them. They manipulated the algorithm. They wanted us to meet, to monitor your capabilities, probably hoping you'd be vulnerable through me. His form rippled with agitation. Using you as leverage to access my genetics? Or using you to access my research? Or both? My experimental treatments are based on xenobiological integration principles similar to what your species does naturally. Helios wanted me to develop human Corsani-like adaptability without actual Corsani genetics, which would be worth Trillions. Whoever controls voluntary genetic modification controls human evolution. Without Corsani cooperation, they bypass all collective regulations. Dr. Chen, station security forces are converging on your location, Arya interrupted. Cal Thras moved to the door, his armor shifting aggressively. They're escalating. Maya opened a hidden panel revealing research equipment. When I left Helios, I made copies. Proof of illegal experiments, consent violations, corporate atrocities. She connected a device to her terminal. If they're coming for us, their crimes go public first. We'll still need to escape. Any suggestions from the legendary genetic warrior? Several, but they require your trust. Maya looked at him, this being who could absorb her DNA, who was everything security feared. But she'd spent 10 years trusting the wrong people. What do you need? When I modify for combat effectiveness, I become significantly more threatening. Humans panic. I'm a xenobiologist. I've seen worse. External systems online in 30 seconds, Arya warned. Do it, Maya told Kelthras. He shifted dramatically. His height increased. Armor became jagged and blade-like. Arms split fluidly into 4 limbs. The faces in his armor became pronounced. His eyes multiplied into a 4-eyed diamond configuration. He was terrifying, magnificent. You're beautiful, Maya said, meaning it, all 4 eyes fixed on her with surprise. You're the first person outside my species to say that. Most people don't appreciate good biological engineering. The door began glowing as security breached it. Maya finished uploading to Area with instructions to broadcast if captured. Ready? Kelthras positioned between her and the door. Not remotely, but let's see what happens. The door burst inward. Corporate security forces, private contractors in unmarked armor, poured in. Kelthras moved with incredible speed, flowing like liquid death, disabling attackers with surgical precision. He didn't kill, just incapacitated with minimal harm. The difference between weapon and warrior. Dr. Chen, a contractor called, Helios Corporation requests your cooperation. Come peacefully and we'll ensure humane treatment. I've heard that before, Maya shouted. Right before you locked me in a research facility for 8 years. We need to leave, Kelthras said, his transformed voice vibrating her bones. Now. Arya, escape route. Maintenance tunnels, designed for drones and small species. You'll barely fit. Perfect. No one will expect it. Kelthras grabbed her gently despite his fearsome appearance, and they ran. The maintenance tunnels were never designed for their size. Maya squeezed through passages barely wide enough, while Kelthras compressed his mass impossibly. Area, guide us. Tunnel 7 Beta leads to the old research sector, abandoned after the incident. Security won't expect you there. The place where her team died. Maya pushed down panic and kept moving. They emerged into sterile white corridors, dusty with neglect, emergency lighting casting red shadows. Kelthras shifted back, keeping 2 arms. This location holds significance. This is where it happened, where my team died because I followed orders instead of instincts. And now? Now I'm trusting my instincts. She opened a wall panel revealing ancient access ports. Area, can you route through these? They should connect to the communication array. Attempting connection. Your broadcast is ready. If we access the array, your evidence will reach 17 collective monitoring stations simultaneously. Good. Maya's hands worked quickly. Let's make sure Helios can't bury this. Kelthras positioned at the entrance. Maya, you understand releasing this makes you a target indefinitely? Corporations like Helios don't forgive exposure. I've been a target for 10 years. At least now I'll be a target who fought back. Then we fight together, he said simply. Something warm bloomed in Maya's chest. Together. The connection established. Data flowed through ancient systems. Upload complete, Area announced. Your evidence is broadcasting across multiple channels. Significant response. News feeds activating. Collective investigators flagging data. This is going viral across 17 sectors. The corridor exploded with sound as corporate forces breached the sector, but actual collective security poured in from the opposite direction. Stand down, commanded Administrator Vex. By order of collective central authority, Helios Corporation operatives cease all hostile actions immediately. The corporate forces hesitated. Your genetic experimentation violations are now public record, Vex continued. Diplomatic immunity suspended. Surrender weapons. Maya watched in disbelief as they slowly complied. Kale Thras remained tense. Vex approached. Dr. Chen, your evidence has triggered emergency protocols across multiple jurisdictions. Helios Corporation faces immediate investigation. He turned to Kale Thras. The collective extends formal protection. Your testimony regarding illegal genetic harvesting will be essential. I did not consent to any genetic sampling, Kale Thras said coldly. Their manipulation of gene match violated multiple treaties. Indeed. You're both under collective protection as material witnesses. Though I must note, Dr. Chen, your evidence disclosure methodology was highly irregular. I've learned official channels don't work when corporations own them. Vex's antennae twitched in approval. You've created a significant diplomatic incident. 17 Helios executives are being detained. Their genetic modification programs are being shut down across 8 worlds. Maya's knees went weak. It was over. Kale Thras's hand found hers, steadying her with surprising gentleness. 3 weeks later, Maya stood at her viewport watching ships come and go. The door chimed. Kale Thras entered carrying takeout from Schickstal's. Celebration offerings for our heroic exposure of corporate evil. Maya smiled. Kickstal watches too many adventure streams. He set the containers down. I received communication from the collective today. They've offered me a position as a genetic ethics consultant. My experience with forced biological modification makes me valuable for preventing future violations. That's good, isn't it? It's in collective core worlds, far from Station Meridian. He paused. They also offered you a position, lead researcher for a new Xenobiology Ethics Commission. Same location. Maya's heart skipped. They want us both? Our partnership has become notable. The question is whether you wish to continue this partnership, professional and otherwise. Maya had spent 10 years in isolation, but the past 3 weeks reminded her what it felt like to have someone who understood what it meant to be used, discarded, and forced to rebuild. I spent a decade running from relationships, telling myself I was safer alone. And now I think safety is overrated. What about you? Why stay with someone who comes with this much baggage? His form rippled with amusement. Maya Chen, I am a genetically engineered weapon who absorb 47 different beings. I carry their faces in my armor and their traits in my biology. You think you're the one with baggage? She laughed, tears pricking her eyes. We're both disasters. Yes, but perhaps we can be disasters together. Is that what this is? This thing between us? I believe humans would call it love. My species calls it genetic resonance. When two beings find in each other something that completes rather than diminishes. That's actually beautiful. I have been researching human poetry to better understand romantic expression. Despite everything, Maya felt hope. So, core worlds, new positions, continuing this improbable partnership? If you're willing to tolerate my various biological peculiarities, if you're willing to tolerate my terrible coffee habits, his mercury eyes gleamed, I believe we can accommodate each other's deficiencies. Maya stretched up and kissed him. His biology shifted to meet her, adapting in real time. It was strange and perfect, and entirely them. When they broke apart, his bioluminescent veins pulsed with contentment. The transport leaves tomorrow. For the core worlds, for whatever comes next. Together, Maya asked. Together, he confirmed. They stood at the viewport watching stars wheel past, two beings who'd been designed and damaged by others, who'd found in each other something neither algorithm nor intention could have predicted. Not just compatibility, but choice. Not just genetic resonance, but genuine connection. The galaxy was vast and often hostile, but for the first time in a decade, Dr. Maya Chen wasn't facing it alone. And somewhere in the commercial hub, Kickstal was planning their farewell party, spreading the story that would inspire countless beings to take chances on unlikely matches. Gene Match's user base tripled in the following month, but that's another story entirely.